Welcome to my GetResponse Tutorial for Beginners. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a landing page very quickly where you can generate leads. From there, send automated messages, and of course, if you want, you can also send out broadcasts to any of your subscribers on your list. If you'd like to follow along, I will leave my link in the description, and if you click that, GetResponse comes with the ability to get a completely free account, so feel free to use that and follow along with me. So, the one thing I'm not going to dive deep into is creating a new contact list. It's pretty simple to do, and you might have already done it, so in case you haven't, you would just simply go to contacts here. There's actually a tutorial here that shows you. Once you are there, you simply create list, and from there you just give it a name and you're going to be good to go. Okay, for this one I created a list just called GetResponse Tutorial, as if I was going to be starting from square one, just so that you can really follow along with me in case you're in the same spot. Okay, so first we're going to start off with a landing page, okay, right here, and what we want to do is create landing page. This is going to allow us to generate leads. And when we have those leads, what we can use is the autoresponders to send us automated messages. Now, you can use AI if you want. It's going to be a little bit less hands-on, but given the fact that this is a tutorial, I want to show you how it's actually done, clicking the mouse and doing things yourself. So let's go with the ready-made one. And I love the blank templates just because they're so easy to edit, and I've talked about this many times. I did do a separate video when it comes to GetResponse landing pages. This is going to be very similar, and I just think that a lot of the simple and clean ones are going to be the best to use. So I'm going with blank template 5 right here. And ideally, what I want here is just going to be my headline. It's going to be a little bit else above and below it, and everything else we can get rid of. So all these other sections, what I'm going to do is go over here and delete this. Okay, I'm going to go here and delete this. All the other stuff under, delete. And right here, really not a whole lot going on there. We also have this section with social media. I don't recommend using that. The reason for this is because we have one main goal here. When someone arrives here, that we want them to give us our email. We don't need to be sharing this, like putting it around anywhere else. So that's not going to be our main thing. If we wanted to change our logo, we can go here and click on replace. I will do that since I have one and it's already up there. So make it a little bit bigger. Perfect. Something else we can change around if we click right here, we have our fields. Me personally, I don't like using name. The more fields that you have, the less chances of converting someone. Just think of if you had 10 of these fields, someone might see that and say no way. But if there's only one, chances are much higher that they're obviously going to opt in. So there's 3 things I want to use here. I'm going to duplicate this. All right, so what I'm going to do is just drag this up right above here. Perfect. So this is going to be, let's see, free X. This is going to be our headline, as I talked about previously. How to yay without boo. I was talking to my friend the other day. He says he's going to use this headline specifically everywhere, just pasting it like this, joking around, obviously. Clearly, or maybe not so clearly, what you want to do is replace yay with something that they want and boo with something that they don't want to do. So if you have a free lead magnet, think of it in terms of something they can get without not have to doing something. A perfect example of this is how to lose weight without counting calories. A lot of people don't want to count calories. I do it myself. I think it's one of the best ways, but just an example, right? Or how to make money without doing live speaking events. Okay, maybe that's something they don't want to do. Or maybe how to do your first live speaking event without turning red and just, messing up on your words, kind of like I'm doing right now, right? So something like that, okay? So that's going to be the headline. This can be a little bit extra in case you want to do it, maybe like a call to action. So I just like doing a little bit more, if needed, okay? So this is going to be our template right here. I like doing a lot of cheat sheets, one, because they're very easy to create. As someone, I forgot who once said this once, they pretty much say like, high five for a cheat code. That's pretty much what you're doing here. What can you give your perfect audience? Something that will really help them out. It's kind of like taking a code and putting it in a video game. You get it, they're done, okay? So free cheat sheet reveals, and allow me to change this around, say, for something related to email marketing. All right, so this is just what I came up with right here. How to create high converting emails in 10 minutes without writing them yourself. So even if you see this, you might be like, well, that's pretty good. Like it converts highly. I don't have to spend all this time doing it. You can actually do that using ChatGPT. So that could be a phenomenal cheat sheet. What it could be are a few templates where you just kind of plug and play your niche, a few other things, and it writes it for you without actually going in and writing out all of it. So that's a perfect example of how we could use that. Now, if you notice there's a lot of spacing here, in case you did want to change that around, in case you're super OCD like me, let's go with the block settings here. There's going to be the padding section, so we can make this a little bit smaller, say like 10. We can click there and do the same thing, so it's going to be a little bit tighter together. And maybe this one here as well. I think this one probably needs a little bit less. We could even make the font bigger too. So if we just highlight it all, it's on 44 now. There we go. I think that looks fine. And of course, here's something else we do want to change around. Now, for example, in case you wanted to add some of your privacy policies and so on and so forth, I'm just going to duplicate text right there and I'm going to drag it down here. All right, and since we can't see this, let's change around the font color. It's white. And this can be like, let's see, privacy policy. Oops, I just clicked off of that. PRIV. And I do need to highlight that again because it changed colors on me. There we go. Privacy policy, and then we have like, terms, maybe support. And that's just going to be where you can say link, those pages where it's going to be needed, right? Once again, you probably don't need these here. The last thing you want to do is have someone share this instead of opting in, but that's a very simple squeeze page. Like I always talk about, simple tends to work the best. Don't worry that it doesn't look amazing. There's one final thing I want to have you do here. So we have the success view. Just to make your life easier, if you don't want to create a thank you page, you don't have to. So what happens is, what do you do after a form is submitted? You could just say show a message, something like, all right, so I put thank you so much. Check your inbox for your free gift. You can, of course, redirect to another page or site or just show a thank you page. It's really going to be up to you, but if you want to get this up and running very quickly, that's just going to be something that you can do. Okay, so like I said, very straightforward, very quick. What we can do is just preview it in case you want to see what it looks like. Pretty much the same thing without the top there, right? Not too bad. A lot of my squeeze pages look very similar to that. Okay, let's go to continue. All right. And as I talked about in the beginning, in case you didn't create a list, what you're going to want to do here is make sure that it's the specific list right here that you created. If you have multiple of them, make sure you change it so it doesn't go to the wrong one. Okay. This is the ability to add an opt-in confirmation email. What that is also called is a double opt-in. So for example, if you turn that on, they have to go to their inbox and then they have to click a link in order for them to start getting your emails. Doing this, you'll get much higher quality because if someone enters a spam email, they're not going to go in there and be able to get it, so they don't get added to it. But at the same time, you might be losing out on some opt-ins because some people may just not go in and do it right away. So it's really up to you. I like the single opt-in, but I know everyone is different. If you want to add a favicon, it's going to be this little icon on your landing page in case you want to change that. If you want a cookie consent banner, and there's some other analytics and stuff in case you want to change, but most of this is going to be, up to you. I like it how it is. I'm just going to click on continue. Okay, I'm just going to call this a free cheat sheet. I'm just going to use this. If you have your own domain, you can connect it, but just for this example, I'm going to go with the free one and click on publish. All right, and it is good to go. So that's going to be that step. We're going to come back to that, and I'm going to actually opt in and show you how it works. But before I do that, let's go with the GetResponse Autoresponder. This part's very fun because you can literally just automate the process. Once you focus on sending traffic to this, you can automate your emails for as long as you want. As I talked about in my previous video, I think I once had an autoresponder sequence that was around like 75 days long. So that really takes a lot of the heavy work off your shoulders, so to speak, that you can just go in there, maybe do one a day, maybe two a day, and just slowly add them in so that when people start going through your funnel, they'll get drip fed these emails. And like I said, it saves you a lot of work in the long run if you want to do it that way. Let's go to tools. Let's go to autoresponders. All right, so make sure you have your actual list right here. So GetResponse Tutorial, going to be perfect. Let's go create autoresponder. And let's do by myself, or, with me as well, right? So two of us, let's do this. All right, so first and foremost, we have our untitled autoresponder. The name will appear on the list of your messages, only you will see it. What I like to do is make the title of this the same as the subject line, just to make my life easier so I know what is what. Also make sure, once again, that you have the specific list selected. This won't matter if you only have one, but if you have multiple, just make sure it goes to the right one. So let me add this title in. Click here to access what you requested. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. So autoresponder settings, this is going to be the first one. Let's make sure it's on day 0 and the same time as sign up, because the idea here is once they enter their email, it's going to get sent to them right away. Yes, there might be a little bit of a delay, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30, maybe a minute, whatever it's going to be. But the idea here is that you don't want to have them wait till, like, say it's Tuesday. You're only going to get this on a Sunday. They're not going to like that. They're going to probably forget about it, and they might mark you as spam because they're like, who is this person, right? So that's going to be normal. You have your email address and reply to. Here's the subject line. Once again, same thing as I did before. And I like this specifically because, one, they requested a free gift, so I'm letting them know that. And it also has a call to action. It says, click here to access what you requested. So I've noticed that the higher chances of getting a click-through rate is if you obviously tell someone to click there. So it does have that call to action, which I like. You can add some emojis in case you want. Feel free to. It's really up to you. Maybe I'd put an island in there. Maybe I won't. I do it every now and then. I change it, but I'm just going to keep it at that. And we have our design and content. Let's click right here or right here. All right. I love the blank templates. Most specifically because there's no images on there. The more images you have, the higher the chances are of getting sent to the sin bin, as I like to call it, which is the spam box. So as you'll notice with my landing pages, I don't like keeping anything spiffy. Simple tends to work the best for me, especially for emails. If you want to always jazz them up, feel free to, but I want to at least show you how it works. Then you can change things around to your branding and your liking as well. Use template here for blank template. Oh, and you see that right there next to it, it said my templates. If you ever want to save a template, you can go right here and do save as my template, and where I showed you is where they're going to show up in case you ever wanted to do that. So logo with this, like you can use that if you want, but I'm just going to undo that. And I have my email right here. What I'm going to do is copy and paste it. And what we can do is drag the text in right here, and let's paste this in. Give me a second. I'm going to format this to make it look a little better. You can see how it looks now. So when I go back to the other view, you can kind of compare and see if it looks a little better. All right, and here is the after. I don't know about you, but I like the formatting so much better. Everything is kind of neat and it's easy on the eyes. It doesn't look like a long run-on essay. That's why I like having the short, choppy sentences, and it's not very intimidating. There's not a whole lot of scroll to it. So if you want to know how to link something to, like this would be an example of what it would be. Let's highlight this right here. Then we're just simply going to click on the link button right here. All right, this is just going to be my home page here as an example, but let's click on insert. That's where your link is going to go. So everything else is pretty much, business as usual. I can do some separate videos in case you need help with emails. If you do, simply leave a comment down below. I can talk about like what things you can talk about, the type of layout you can do in terms of the types of, say, value emails you send or promo emails, or how you can segment them. Just there's a lot of ways of doing it. So if you need any help with that, this isn't really about writing the email. It's more about how you do it in terms of setting it up with GetResponse. Okay, so that is going to be the email there. There's something else you can do here. So if we go to message style, you'll notice that the width, it's right in the middle, and this can maybe be annoying to you. So if we go and click on plus a few times, we can drag it on over to the left. I think it should be like, you can do it there if you want all the way, or I think that would look pretty good as well. So once again, this is the ability where you can actually save as a template. If you like how everything looks, if you like the layout of it, like you remove the logo, you can save it as a template. So what happens is anytime you go to write a new email, all of this is going to be in here. So like the format's kind of same. You just got to change out the text and the links. Okay. So let's go with next. We are done there. All right, and just like that, everything looks good to go. Spam check is going to be good. There's no issues there. And let's simply click on Save and Publish. All right, perfect. So what that means is that someone, anytime they opt into a landing page, they're going to get this email immediately. Now, maybe you wanted to create more autoresponders. So every 2 days you wanted to send out an email. It doesn't have to be every 2 days. It could be every single day. And then it could be 2 days, then 3 days later, then 4 days. It's really up to you. Nevertheless, what you would do is just repeat the process. Let's click on Create Autoresponder. By myself. All right, so the only thing that would be different here, you would do, say, on day 2. Okay, you would add your name here, you would add your subject line and your email. Okay, then you would save and publish it. And then, like, say, if you wanted to do every single 2 days, you would do this process again. And the next time it would be on day 4, then day 6, then day 8, then day 10. Also, I recommend keeping the same time as the sign up time. For example, like that the person was on, let's just say I opted in on, at 5 p.m. Okay. That I was on my computer or my phone at that time. So the chances are probably higher that they're also going to be on at that same time, say 2 days from then. Okay. So that's why I like doing the same time as sign up time. It's just, unless someone's like, surfing on the web at like 1 in the morning, they might not be up every single time at that, but that's just my reasoning for why I like doing it that way. So that's how you would change it around when it comes to the autoresponder. Every single time you do a new one, you can just choose on which day you want to have it set out. Pretty simple, right? All right, and so the last thing we're going to do very quickly, it's not going to take very long because you know the process, right? So you're going to go to email marketing, and if you want to send the broadcast, there's going to be like a button right here that simply says send broadcast, okay? Now, everything is going to be exactly the same. The only thing that's going to be different here is that this is going to be sent out at any single time that we want. It's not going to be automated. We have to go in and just say like who wants to get it. So for this, I'm just going to go into that GetResponse tutorial with no subscribers in there, obviously, because I just created that. So let me get that. Okay, there we go. GetResponse tutorial. Obviously, there's going to be no one on there since I just created this, and everything else is going to be the same. Like this, you can match with your subject line and so on and so forth. We do our content, and then of course you can do send immediately or schedule for later. Obviously, once everything is done, you would simply click on your send message, and that's going to be the process for sending a broadcast. I know it's pretty straightforward here, but we've done all of the other things already. The only difference with an autoresponder is that you put it in and it's going to be sent automated once someone opts into your squeeze page. With this, it's going to be sent out manually anytime you want, whether it be right now or scheduling for later. Okay, so all in all, that's going to be my GetResponse tutorial for beginners. In this, I showed you how to obviously go about creating a list in case you haven't done that. From there, we've created a squeeze page where someone opts in, they get sent messages to our autoresponder. If you want to add more messages to that autoresponder series that's going to be automated, you can do that. Now, lastly, I showed you how to actually send broadcasts. So anytime you want to send a broadcast newsletter out to any of your subscribers at any time, you can do that. Let's actually go through the process and show you how it would work when it comes to signing up for the landing page, and that'll be the last thing. Alright, and here is the specific landing page. I'm just going to go right here and open it up in a new window. Let me put in a random email. Actually did put in a random email, and what you would do here, obviously the person would come here, they would click on sign up. We're going to have this thank you so much. Check your inbox for your free gift. They're going to check their inbox, and from there, let's actually go to our contacts in that specific section. And there we go. If you go to the autoresponder, we now have one delivered. It hasn't been opened or anything because that's just a regular spam email. Like I can't check it, I'll just delete it. But that's going to be what happens, and that person is in there. And of course, when we have our other emails, it could go out every 2 days, every 2 days after that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I think you get the process, but I am kind of repeating what I said before. I hope this GetResponse tutorial helped you out, and if it did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't gotten to test out GetResponse, once again, I will leave my link in the description. They do come with a free account, so you can do pretty much a lot of the things that I talked about in this video, which is nice. My name is James. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.